everybody. Welcome back to Bacon's Base Place. Today we are continuing our live stream. We're going to try a slightly different format today. I'm actually not doing this live stream live. I'm doing the live stream with no audience here live, and then I'm going to release it later as a premiere at a better time because I figured a lot of people probably aren't available anyways during the noon hour that have been trying to do it, or the early afternoon in the middle of the week. So I'm going to try and release this closer to 4:30, 5 o'clock ish. This one should be out at 4:15 local time tonight. So hopefully that's a better time for some of you, and we're just going to try that out for this week. And you guys can let me know in the comments below if that's a better time for you guys, if you like it better that way. If you guys would rather uh, actually be able to hang out with me as I do this, you can also let me know. But this is all right. So we're going to figure out how that's going to work, and it's going to be good. So for the first time, or not for the first time, sorry, moving on, what we're going to be doing today is episode number 9 or 60. Excuse me again, episode 60 of our basic slap bass patterns. What's the pattern that we're doing? We're doing open, slap, hammer, pull off. Okay. So there's going to be just one or two things that I change up from the typical way that we do it. And today's going to be a pretty simple lesson because I'm just going to show you an exercise with a bunch of variations. I'm going to play along to it with a metronome for you guys. The main target for this exercise is going to be people who are working on your hammer-ons and your pull-offs, okay? Because this has a hammer-on and a pull-off right next to each other. So it's basically really good for working on your hammer-ons and your pull-offs. So I'm going to show you how I like to move those around when I'm showing people who are just first beginning to do hammer-ons and pull-offs, and when I was getting used to it and just trying to build up a lot of finger conditioning to be able to do these slurs properly. I just like to move it around a lot like this. So basically what we're going to be doing is I'm going to ignore my high C string for you guys again. I'm just pretend I'm on a normal 4 string, my low strings. And we're going to start by popping the open string. That's going to be one of the differences that we're doing, okay? We're going to pop the open string, and we're going to start by popping the G string. So what we can do is pop the G string, and then in first position, which means our first finger's on the first fret, the first combination we're going to do is just your index finger on the first fret hammering on your third finger to the third fret, and then pull off again back to the first fret, okay? So we're just doing that 2 frets away, hammer on pull off. So open. Then that's the basic motif for the exercise that we're using. Now how we're going to variate it is we're going to move it up the frets. We're going to move it down the strings. We're going to try and move the pop down the strings, but there is an awkward thing that happens when we start doing that, and I'll show you what I like to do to get around that. And then the other thing you want to do is do different combinations of fingers, okay? So everyone, almost, or maybe not everyone, but just a bunch of combinations for you guys to practice. First finger to second finger, 1 fret away. The one we just did, first finger to third finger, 2 frets away. You can do first finger to fourth finger, 3 frets away. You can do first finger to third finger to fourth finger, 2 frets away. I do this one a lot. I think a lot of people do. You can do first finger to third finger, 2 frets away. You can practice having that stationary pop on a different string each time. Again, we're going to encounter that awkward thing. So without further ado, let's just start getting into this exercise. I'm going to put a metronome on at 100 beats per minute, and I'm basically going to walk through most of what I just explained. I'm not going to go through all of those because you guys will get the picture pretty quickly, and I just want to show you sort of how it's actually executed, and it'll just be really good for your left hand mobility and a lot of good stuff practicing your slap as well, because it's just getting that in there naturally because you're slapping. Okay, so I hope you guys can hear that. If not, it's just at 100 beats per minute, and I'm basically making my pop right where the click is, and then I'm playing 16th notes. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. All right, you guys probably saw me switch fingers there once or twice, just to do what's comfortable based on the size of the frets, but for the most part, I'm staying 2 frets away, okay? Now I'm going to go down to the next string. I'm going to do the same thing on the next string, so I'm only going to move... I'm not going to move the pop string. I'm going to keep that on the G string, and I'm now going to do the little hammer-on pull-off on the string below, the D string. All right, now I'm going to do down one more string. String. Cool. So one thing I want to point out to you guys is that there is a mute that I'm doing as I get lower, okay? You'll notice I'm not doing... All right? You notice that I'm not letting that string ring out as I do this, okay? So the way that I'm doing is by open popping, and when I do the hammer on, I'm muting that popped string as or the next slap, sorry, whatever the next note may be. As I do that, I'm simultaneously muting the top string with that finger, so that I don't have both notes ringing out. See the difference if I have some space there and let it ring, or if I have it lower and mute it? Okay, so that's something else you guys can practice with this, is that muting that open note. The next thing I would do is repeat all of that, but move the popping string down. We get one awkward thing that starts happening, and it adds another. It adds it one more time that it happens every string you go down, because the awkward thing is trying to pop an open string and then hit the note above it. I can kind of do it when it's one string below like this. one's a bit more awkward for me, but the way that I do it is by actually twisting my hand sort of this way, just a little bit. I'm exaggerating the motion, and I only do it for a second when you go to do the pop. As soon as you're doing the slap, it's back there. But if you turn it this way, you can actually get your popping finger to be higher than your thumb, which is what you need. So that's the awkward thing, is you have to twist your thumb like that to make it work. And I really don't think it works like more than 2 strings below, unless you start doing some pretty kind of crazy stuff. And the muting becomes hard too. All right. See, it's kind of starting to work. Let's try the next one down. That's just the farther it is, the more accurate you have to be. Right. See? So it actually does kind of work, but you just have to really pay attention, and maybe it works a little bit better when you're doing just that. It's probably pretty hard to incorporate that type of thing into normal playing, but practice it enough, you guys can get it down. Then you can show me how to do it. The other thing to do is going to do that one. That same thing, basically redoing everything, but now going up and down the strings instead of the frets, and do the whole frets and then up one. So I'm going to stay popping the D. I'm going to actually, just for the sake of this one, I'm going to try and pop the A string the whole time. All right. So as you can see, that's kind of a lot of stuff you can. There's a whole bunch of ways that you can variate this, can vary it. If you noticed, I didn't even start switching into other fingers. Imagine like when you redo all of everything I just did, without missing all the ones I missed, and then do all of that over again for each finger. Okay. So that's the whole point of it, is you go through all of these different variations that, like, this is just from one pattern, all the different stuff that we can do, right? All the different rhythms we can apply, which we haven't been doing. We're pretty much just doing straight 16th notes. All the different left hand fretting work that we can do. That's kind of a lot of what I like to vary this, because when I'm writing music, typically the rhythm kind of happens for the most part in a unworded way where you're kind of feeling it, right? Same with most of this, but you want to have the versatility. That's the point. If you can hear a rhythm or a shape up in your head and your fingers don't have it yet, then that's what these exercises are for, because it gets through every variation possible, right? So we have all these patterns. You can vary them so many different ways, and that's why we're going through this, guys. So this is kind of a shorter one. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Make sure you guys like and subscribe and share and tell your friends. And if you hit the little notification button, you'll actually get the notifications when I go live, and you'll be able to come hang out with us if we're doing it live at the moment, or if I release it later, you'll get it when it comes out, maybe a little notice right before it comes out. All right, guys? So thank you very much for watching. We're almost done here for the day. As soon as I can get this thing to do the same thing that I have problems with every time, I think it'll be all right. But hey, what can you do, right? You got to work with what you're given.